الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله
السلام عليكم.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح
لا حول ولا قوة إلا
الله أكبر الله أكبر
الله أكبر كبير.
لا إله إلا الله
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم أما بعد. يا إخواني, today inshallah ta'ala the topic I will be talking to you about is reviving the Muslim identity. Inshallah ta'ala I'll try to cover some of the challenges our young Muslims are facing regarding their Muslim identity, and inshallah ta'ala I'll try to provide possible solutions that how we could respond to these challenges that we're facing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in the Quran who we are. Allah has told us our Muslim identity. In the Quran, Allah has reminded us that how strong we were. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمروا بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنوا بالله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, we are the best community ever raised for mankind. Why are we the best? Because we encourage good and we forbid evil and we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the basic fundamental message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been telling us for centuries. However, Allah goes on in that ayah and kind of reminds us, those people of the book, had they believed this message, it would have been better for them. And Allah also continues in the ayah, tells us that though there are some people who understood that, there were some who were faithful, but there were others who were most rebellious. This ayah will be the foundation for our solution, inshallah ta'ala, that we will discuss later. Whether we acknowledge this or not, our young generations are struggling to preserve their Muslim identity. This includes regular activities. There's nothing special going on around here that actually involves in something that you have to preserve. They're just regular activities, going to the school, public school, going to the playground, going to the stores, going to the shopping mall. Your Muslim identity is constantly challenged. You have worked so hard to understand, am I doing the right thing? Because you're constantly seeing like you're in a wrong place at the wrong time. At the same time, as parents, I'm a father as well, as a parent, we advise our children to stay away from haram. We try to advise them what is halal, what is haram is. However, a lot of the haram things out there is completely normalized. everything is kind of, if not, is encouraged. And on top of that, you have constant images from cartoons and TVs and whatnot that constantly impacts our Islamic beliefs. During this process, a lot of things happen on a daily basis, our young generation, because Allah has given us the intellect, Allah has given us the ability to ponder and think. What our young generations do because of these situations, they naturally have a very good response to this. What do they do in their own best way? They compromise their religion. They change their hairstyle. They change their clothing. They want to get rid of their certain skin, tone, what have you. They want to dress a certain way. They want to blend in because nobody wants to be a Muslim or look like one because everything else is opposite. Everybody seems to be having fun. This is what's happening to our Muslims. This is our Muslim identity. But first, let's define what a Muslim identity is. I mean, what are we talking about when we say Muslim identity? Muslim identity can be defined as an individual who acknowledges that their Islamic principle, that you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, no one else, that you believe that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you don't eat haram food, and you don't look at haram things, and you dress a certain way. This is your principle, your Islamic principle. It's part of your Muslim identity. That can never be taken away from you. Everywhere you go, whatever you dress, whatever you look like, but there is certain Muslim identity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has preserved in every one of us. And also, Islamic Muslim identity, what also involved is that you acknowledge the rich Islamic culture, the language. Thousands of years our great scholars produced many extraordinary things. The mathematics, the science. You go to the high school, you'll take Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Algebra 3, but you'll never know who invented the algebra. You take science course, you never understand who invented all the entire scientific formulas. Early on, that laid the foundation for other people who came in and kind of stole and borrowed. You must ponder on these things. This is part of your rich Islamic identity. Not only that, you also have a language. You come from a certain countries where you speak your own language, but inshallah, when I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh ya akhi, you understand it. This is your Muslim identity. See, this heritage, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has reminded us in the ayah, this heritage is what gave the world civilization what they are today. The Europeans or what you and our American countries, it would have been nowhere without our contribution of some people from thousands of miles away. Take a look at how, as I mentioned to you, mathematics. There would have been no calculus without mathematics. They would not be able to launch a satellite without the calculus, because the calculus cannot come before algebra. You have to understand who contributes to what. You have to understand where our foundation is. This is your Muslim identity. See, as Muslims today, we are part of that heritage that gave the world civilization all the scientific tools and knowledge. And also, we have commonalities, you see. We have commonalities. The way we dress, there's nothing separate to you and I. There's nothing different to you and I. Somebody from foreign culture came in and said, hey, don't talk to him. Hey, that person looks different. Hey, he's not part of your tribe. Somebody said that to you. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you are a community, work together, hold the ropes tight, completely different, opposite messages. They have been successful in many ways. Those individuals are long gone now. It is your responsibility now to carry on the message of Muslim identity in the ayah we talked about. Not only that, our Muslim identity, not only we have commonality, we dress the same, the language the same, we also eat the food the same way. We all have the same type of food. We sit down and eat. Look, every bit of it is that you and I, we could relate. There's nothing different between you and I. These challenges are not only impacting our men. See, it's very difficult to be a strong man nowadays. Not only is it impacting us, men, it's also impacting our women. We have to understand that the challenges our sisters are facing. They have to wear the hijab, they have to space. Their Muslim identity is also constantly challenged. Now, how do we respond to this challenge? There is a simple formula, framework, that I, inshallah, propose to you that will benefit you, inshallah. One is being unapologetic about In this case, being a Muslim. Number 2, be humble. And number 3, be grateful. This is a mindset. At individual level, this is a mindset that completes the complete identity profile that will allow you to give you the power back to you. Those challenges that we face out there to be able to live as a Muslim in a confident way. Let me, inshallah ta'ala, dive into each of these topics, each of these points. Number 1, as I mentioned, being unapologetic. You see, you do not have to apologize because you're a Muslim. At the same time, you should be so confident enough to be able to speak for Islam, write an article, contribute something that will benefit and promote Islamic values. It is your identity that you're promoting. And know that you have, if you're an American citizen here, it is your constitutional right to be who you want to be. It is your right to be a police officer or a fireman or anything else. It is your right to be a Muslim as well. It is your right to wear that hijab for a sister. It is your right to have the beard. It is your right to wear that coat. It is your right to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to your fellow Muslim brother, even on the street. It is your constitutional right to be a strong Muslim. This is a constitutional right that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told you many years, centuries ago. You have the right to be who you want to be. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Hujurat, verse number 10, kind of reminds us that believers are not but brothers. See, as I mentioned to you earlier, somebody came in from a different culture, said, you guys are not brothers. Okay? Let's create a problem with these two. Allah is telling us, you and I are your brother. Make peace among one another. You see, there's no reason to have conflict between one another. And be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that Allah, after we doing all these things, that Allah may show mercy on us. You see, reason why we are struggling so much, I think, because there's no mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are constantly bickering and constantly competing with one another. So what is the solution here? It is your right to be who you want to be, that it is my right to also have the feeling and attitude that I have no competition with my fellow Muslim brother. It's my right. This is how I feel. I am not jealous of my brother. I have no hatred towards my brother. I have no animosity toward my fellow Muslim brother. Why? Because this is what the ayah is telling us. We are the brother. Looking left to you, right to you, front of your back. That is your brother. That is your ally. Somebody came and said, hey man, that's not your ally. Hey, you have to do what we said. No. I am this profile, this framework. Inshallah, I'll have to give the power back to you. This is those who are there, they're long gone now. This is our opportunity to come back to our circle, to hold our ropes tight that Allah is talking about in the Quran as well. Because you have to also understand, why are we doing this? What is your ultimate purpose in it? You have to understand your goal in it. What is your goal? Your goal is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your goal is not to please somebody, to straighten your hair, to do whatever that you be doing, to change your style, wear certain clothing, to sing something, say some foul language, to pretend that you're not. You're not pleasing anybody. It is your mission in life to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You must understand that. That is why we are the best community raising mankind. Talk to any elders in our community. You'd say, yeah, elder, I got a tattoo. He's not going to say, oh, mashallah, congratulations. You go to some other community. Wow, whatever, he's expressing himself. Wallahi, we are best because the elder will probably smack you, probably remind you, if he's a wise one, no, yeah, this is not the right thing to do. Do not put a tattoo on him. Don't go ahead and do these haram things. You don't need to do these zina activities. You don't have to behave like the way we behave. If you do want to sing a song, you want to rap, well, there is a way to do it. Contribute something in an intellectual way. Contribute something in a healthy way that uplifts our community. This is what you need to do. This is what I'm talking about, being unapologetic about who you are. You don't have to be sorry because you're a Muslim. You don't have to be sorry because you cannot eat certain food. You don't have to be sorry because there are a lot of holidays going on. There's so many activities. Halloween is packed in the street and he cannot contribute because it's a haram activities. Or at least this time you talk to. But you are the best of all people because you promote good. You forbid evil and you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is your right, as I mentioned. See, our attitude depends on how we think. It is my right to think the way I want. If I have no jealousy towards my Muslim brother, whether he's whatever where he's from, then it's my right. I have no animosity towards him. I have no jealousy towards him. And I wish him well. If he's smarter than me, if he's richer than me, he has better things than me, I wish him well. Because one day Allah will give you Allah. You would want that to happen to you too as well. You want to be, blessed. You also want that somebody to not to have that evil eye we talked about. We have as part of our culture. Yes, this is what we're talking about. Your Muslim identity. It is your right to be who you want to be. You could walk around with a tobla right on the streets here. If somebody making fun of you, call the cops. Hey, that's part of racism. Nobody could play games nowadays. Those are gone. It is your right to have the beard. It is your right to be able to say things that I mentioned to you. You could start, if you want to memorize the Quran, just go walk up the alley and start memorizing the Quran. It is your right. That is what we could do in this country. Because America is based on freedom of religion. You could do these things. And you as an American citizen, it is your opportunity to hold on to that. That's your Muslim identity. Not something what we see out there. The other thing is, what I talked about, being humble. What are you proud of? Take a look at what's happening to our brothers and sisters in Gaza. Look how many things that on a daily basis they're getting killed just because they don't match certain people's color, just because they have certain different religions, just because they're in their way. Even though this is their own country, you have to understand. What are you proud of? What arrogance you have? You don't have anything else. What Allah has given you the power, you have the power. You are the best of humanity ever raised. You are the best of mankind. Allah has produced. There is no one else is better than you. Every single individual person in here, you are a powerful individual. You have forgotten how powerful you are. You see, this attitude, if you just walk around being unapologetic, but being humble, they see it. The non-Muslims see that power. They see that aura. They see how you behave. They see how you carry yourself. They see how you talk. You see, those who are good, they want to approach you. Those who are jealous, they will create a problem for you. Your life is not to please these type of people. We have a name for them. We call them haters and things like that. Your job is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See, what arrogance, as I mentioned, there's no reason for arrogance. Though some are elders, somebody come from different culture, the way they talk, if you're educated here, if you're living here, understand how to communicate. Understand, help your elders, maybe overcome certain things. It's our responsibility to improve who we are. But our young generation, you must understand, get rid of that rigidness, get rid of that stubbornness. Be humble in who you are. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in chapter 25, verse 63, in Surah Al-Quran, Allah is reminding us that as true servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those who walk on earth humbly. What is that you're doing when you're walking on the ground like you're so strong and powerful? No, Allah will send another brother who will be more stronger than you, more faster than you, he'll be more alert than you. Yes, there are a lot of competition. What your job is not to compete with anybody. Your job is to be the best Muslim for you. This is you are. You have the power. It is the Allah has already given you. You are the best. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. Number 3 that we talked about is being grateful. See? Grateful for worshiping one true God. Grateful for being the Ummah of Prophet Muhammad and who is our role model, who is our teacher. So you just be grateful for because there are people worshiping cats and dogs and trees. You're not worshiping them. You are far away from them. You are the one who worshiping the unseen. You don't even know. We don't even know what our God looks like. That's how powerful we are. Yeah, we worship Allah. Where is He? He's up there. Yeah, in the sky. Yeah, what does it look like? You know, Allah knows best. You are powerful already. You have the answer to everything what they're looking for. You ask them, no, I have the little thing that I hold. No, you have to go in this room here, the little statue. Wallahi, you are the better, much more better than anybody else. You are a powerful individual, and you have forgotten how powerful you are. Chapter 16, verse 121. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us, the one who is grateful to Allah's favor, Allah will choose that person. Allah will choose him and guide him to the straight path. Do you want to be the one who is on the front? Do you want to be the one who is on the front line? Do you want to be the one who understands a lot of the issues? Do you want to be able to communicate your issues? Well, be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make it a habit. Do 1,000 times. Ya Malik, Ya Ghafur, Ya Ghaffar. Do it 1,000 times. That's your job. Is to do ibadah. There's nothing wrong with it. Ya Allah, elevate your position. Why not? You're helping other ones. They're seem to be getting all richer. They're doing all the haram things. Why are we? We are the one who worship you. We are the one who believe in you. Why can't we be wealthy? Why can't we be smart? Why can't we be able to contribute, do something for civilization? Because we have forgotten where we were. People who came before us have done it. They did it on purpose. So now those people are all gone, as I mentioned, and it is our opportunity to now to understand that. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم من كل ذنب واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Just to conclude what I've said, I don't want to take too long. The response to our current challenges, could be simplified in this framework presented today. This framework is a very powerful framework. And I just want to add, as part of my research paper that I contributed, and I wrote a tremendous amount of solutions or arguments, and I put together a framework. This is a framework also shared to my children. This is the framework that will contribute to who you are as a Muslim identity. This framework will simplify your life. A framework that will give you the power back to you. A framework where you live your life as a confident human being. A framework where on a daily basis, you cannot be a confident man anymore. You cannot be certain because there are a lot of other rules and conditions that they're promoting. Whereas not that they're trying to normalize. Completely against Islam. It is an opportunity for you to be who you want to be. This framework embodies a complete profile that will give you back that positive mental attitude and self-esteem that every individual, every Muslim individual needs. In a nutshell, be unapologetic about who you are. Don't be ashamed of who you are. You are a powerful individual because Allah says so, not me or anybody else. Allah said you are the best of men. So therefore, if you are the best, you don't need to prove anything to them. Let them, whoever they are, mock you, find faults in you. Allah will send a solution. Allah will send you somebody, a group of individuals that you need to be. First, get rid of all the tension. Allah says unite as a brotherhood. There's every single brother in this community, in this hall here, should be your ally. Somebody, if you say something to you, he should believe it. Look what the non-Muslims do. You, one John go tells another one non-Muslim go tells another one. They believe it. Now you got 2 against 1. When our Muslim brother, you cannot find an ally. Brother, that so-and-so, he did something, you'll go find it, he'll be so close to the non-Muslims. You have forgotten who your ally is, because somebody had told you. I'm here to remind you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you, your brother next to you is your ally. Be humble. When you're talking to somebody, even on the phone, or something, be so humble that Allah will lift you up. Let them make fun. What are you going to do if you're being polite and nice? It's not because the world is so corrupt, the world is so screwed up, they don't understand the respect anymore. Nobody knows how to take respect anymore. Be humble. Be grateful. Because your mission in life is to please Allah. You're being nice to the brother, he doesn't, he wants to think, oh, wow, this guy is so, what is this guy? He doesn't know how to talk. No, you're not doing it because you want to be pleasing Allah. So, yeah, well, I'm just doing it for you. Be humble, be grateful, be polite in your mannerisms. Because the mission in life is to please Allah. Be proud of who you are, as I mentioned. Best thing a Muslim can do is share this wonderful being with others. Invite people to Islam as much as possible. Last month I was riding in Uber. Some brother wanted to talk about Islam. He was giving this one to learn more about it. He has a lot of interest. Everybody knows about Islam. Even at the Uber person sitting there. He was asking why do sisters wear these things? Why are you guys? So I was able to give him much of my whatever information. And then at the end of the ride he says, man, wow, I've never seen somebody explain it to me. Man, many people I meet who doesn't speak English well. SubhanAllah. Coincidentally, Allah sent me another Uber driver. He also had interest in Islam. He said, wow, I'm trying to be a Muslim. I'm trying to learn what is stopping you? Unapologetic. I have no desire to be ashamed. But I'm a Muslim. I got to, I know that's why I want to. Wallahi, the guy gave shahada in that car this last month. It doesn't take much. Do not be ashamed of who you are. Just, if you don't want to talk about it, just be humble and keep quiet, but don't be ashamed of who you are. You are a powerful individual. You have the power to shape people, you have the power to change people. Just you, being a practicing Muslim, walking down any other street, people will sense your energy, sense your aura. Who is this individual? They want to look at you. Maybe you've forgotten that power. Allah is giving you that. Why you think Sahaba, you heard the story, Sahaba go to some village, and the entire village become Muslim, would they have some magical power? No, it's just the way they are. They knew they had the power. It is your power that Allah has given you, you forgot. So, volunteer as much as you can. I'm part of the Game Peace organization. We do have representatives here if you want to learn more about Game Peace. We do da'wah as well. We talk to non-Muslims, we share with them our Islamic principles, just trying to invite people to da'wah. So, as long as you can go and check out us on our website, gamepeace.org. Learn more about what we do as well. Yeah, inshallah. Allahumma adina وتوفنا فيمن هديت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت واصرف لنا من شر ما قضيت إنا نقبل من الحق ولا إنه ذل ولا يعز ولا اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا اللهم اغفر والدينا واستاذين والمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والأحياء منهم إنك سميع مجيب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب القبر وقنا عذاب الموت وقنا من فتنة الدجال وبرحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله يا رب العالمين وآخر الصلاة.
الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
استووا واعتدلوا واعتصموا من فضلك. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين
الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى وجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنحر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
انت مشاكل احنا الناس عشان يمحص الناس.
تغسل بدون ولا يغسل؟ لا بل يغسل تاكل بدون ولا يغسل؟ شو السبب؟ هذه أفضلية نعم استغفر الله شيء هكا
لا تعرف لو ما رفعوش من هو ما يفتح هذا لما يرفعوه يفتح يصير في خلل شفتيها؟ يصير في خلل لما تبقى واحدة هي الموضوع تمشي بعدين بيشوف كل مرة واحدة كل مرة تخص يعملها كيبل عشان لما يرفع يترفع حتى هذا معاه لأن هذا يجلس الشيء اعتذر